are back. This is still Matt.
And this is still Katie, and this is Movies and Mischief with Matt and Katie. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the Fun House. Katie and I watched our first movie together almost 16 years ago, and we have not stopped since. And we love talking about the movies that we watch together. So that's what we do on this channel. We sit down, we watch a movie, then we turn right around and we give you our unprepared, unfiltered opinion of said flick. And if you're one of our regular viewers, thank you. We truly love the support and welcome back. Katie and I did something a little bit different this time. We watched a documentary, and we're going to talk to you about the documentary. And I'm going to let Katie explain to you what the documentary was about.
This is a documentary called Pray Away. It deals with gay conversion therapy through religious groups, and specifically an organization that is now defunct called Exodus. It talks to several former members of the leadership and former participants, willingly or not, in that process. Mm-hmm. And the aftermath of everything that happened during that time period and what has happened to the leadership since they closed their doors. Mm-hmm. What did you think?
This was a tough one. It was a tough one. It hit really close to home for me because I grew up in that world. I grew up in a Southern Baptist community that you were taught to fear homosexuals. I had never heard about conversion therapy until like the late 90s and early 2000s. So I'm happy to say that I was not involved in any of that conversion therapy, but I can completely, there's a part of me that completely understands how these people were drawn into it and fooled into, manipulating into believing that it was a good thing. This was a tough one to watch because there were so many things they were saying that I heard growing up. I heard my, family role models, parental figures saying as a kid, to the point where I grew up afraid of homosexual people to a certain point. It wasn't until I kind of got old enough to where I was able to kind of see the world through my own eyes, and I started reading about different religions, and I started doing theater, and I started meeting, people as part of that community, that I started to realize, well, that was just all a bunch of bull crap. This guy doesn't have horns, and he's not trying to get his hands down my pants. So this was a really well done documentary, and one of the things I liked about it is it did show you both sides, because one of the people they followed throughout it is still following that ex-gay lifestyle. So while I don't agree with anything the guy was saying, I do think that this was a fair and balanced look. And I appreciate that. And it's, again, Netflix has been knocking it out. This is on Netflix. And all of the documentaries of theirs that I've watched have been really well done. So yeah, I while it wasn't, I don't want to say I enjoyed it because it's not a topic you enjoy, but I'm glad I watched it because it kind of gave me a little more insight into conversion therapy. Katie, what did you think?
I was not raised in any kind of religion. I was raised by parents who had grown up in different Christian churches, not the same ones. And it was always very clear that if I wanted to go to church at any point, at any church, whether that was, Baptist, Catholic, Jewish, whatever, Mazel tov, go right ahead. I'm very distrustful of organizations that are based in personality. And absolutely no offense to anyone who is a religious, spiritual person. I have all respect for people who live their lives on guidelines set by their faith. More power to you. Until it comes to harming other people in the name of that faith. Mm-hmm. For me, so much of this documentary was about trying to find acceptance in a community. Mm-hmm. And there's so many of these people that went down this path that I just think if somebody had said to them, there is nothing wrong with you. You are beautiful, you are loved, you are flawed just like everybody else, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. I can't imagine how many lives would have been different, how many lives would have been saved, people who have committed suicide because of this nonsense. I watched the footage of some of their conferences and that kind of thing, and I'm thinking, in a weird way, this is how Charlie Manson did what he did, because it's just the charisma of the leadership taking, and one of the guys even said, the people that are leading these groups and these therapy sessions have zero qualifications in therapy, in counseling. They do not have any education in this, and they are literally taking people's lives into their hands and trying to change them based on what they personally think their religious guidebook says. It's so dangerous, it's so hurtful, that it's baffling to me personally, because I didn't grow up in any of that. The idea that you could just fall into this because you're so desperate to feel accepted that you shove aside, deny, lie about your actual genuine self. And I think that's why so many people end up hurting themselves and killing themselves, because they just feel like I'm accepted, but they don't really know who I am.
Yeah. This is a tough one, folks.
It's so hard. It's so hard to watch.
I think it's important for people to watch. I think it's important for everybody to watch. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what your sexual orientation is. I think it's a very important documentary for people to watch.
It is, because if nothing else, it's a reminder to just, don't be a dick. Just, honestly, isn't that what the golden rule is? Don't be a dick.
Pretty much. You wind it down to it. Every religion is basically just saying don't be a dick.
And in the end, I get if you honestly think you're trying to save someone's soul, but the hubris of that, if nothing else, who are you that you think you are important and powerful enough that you should be responsible for someone else's soul?
Yeah.
Just love them. Help them if you think, there's a difference between trying to help somebody and trying to say, well, this is what I think, and saying, this is what you should think. Stop it. Just stop. Be a community. Absolutely. Gather in faith if that's your thing. Gather in friendship. Don't gather in alcoholism, because that's bad. But if you're getting together in a mutually supportive, loving way, and you're not harming yourself and you're not harming other people, just let that be enough. Get together, study the Bible, study the Quran, do whatever. But stop trying to tell people how to live their lives, because you are, in the end, organizations like this are doing outright freaking evil in the name of God. And I can't imagine that if you believe in hell, that there is a much lower place than people who distort the teachings that they're supposed to embrace to twist and harm somebody else. I'm just really mad right now. I'm sorry. I was going to say, really mad right now.
I think we can all agree that was Katie's final thought.
Yes.
This entire movie.
Yes. My final thought is stop being a dick. If you are gay, straight, transgender, transsexual, questioning, queer, asexual, if you don't know what the hell you are, Just be that. There are people in this world who will fully embrace and accept you just the way you are. Don't try and be somebody else just to have somebody to talk to. We're here. What are your final thoughts? I'm so mad.
So, my final thoughts are just be you. Just be you. I'm going to try really hard to remember to link some web pages and stuff that they showed at the end of this. And, I'll even go as far to say if you need someone to talk to,
Yes.
send us a message.
Don't hurt yourself. We're here.
Send us a message,
You're
and Katie and
beautiful.
I would love to talk to you. If we can't talk to you about what you need to talk to,
We will find somebody.
we have plenty of friends that would be willing to talk. So with that being said, I'm going to remind everyone to please subscribe. Please click the like button, click the like bell, comment. Let us know if you had a chance to see this, or let's start a discussion. And as usual, I'm going to remind you to seek the positive in your life, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.